Hello, everyone. It's me, Jenna Ryan. I'm here today with Self Love You. This is a channel where we talk about learning to love ourselves more. And today I was just sitting there and I just have something on my heart I want to share with you right now. It needs to come out right now. And so here it is for you right now. We're going to talk about toxic shame. Toxic shame. And this comes from a comment that someone made on one of my other videos. And it's been rolling in my head. And I'm like, okay, it's coming out. It's coming out. Toxic shame. What is it? Where is it? And how to get rid of it. How to get free from toxic shame. That is what we're going to talk about in this video. It may take more than one, but I'm going to lay down the basis first right now for you today. So what we're going to talk about is toxic shame. What is toxic shame? Toxic shame, and you can, one of the references, one place where I learned the term toxic shame was from John Bradshaw in his book, Healing the Shame That Binds You. There's also several other good books on toxic shame that I have read, but I don't have them at the tip of my tongue. So what I'm going to do is just tell you my view of what toxic shame is and how to heal from it, and let you take it for what it's worth. Okay, so toxic shame is when you are a child and you are not, when your childhood development needs are not met. Your childhood brain cannot process the fact that your parents have any flaws. So your child brain, when you're not getting your needs met when you're a child, your child brain automatically assumes that everything is your fault. So it's toxic shame is the process of taking the blame for the negative behavior of others. This may or may not be on purpose. This can be severe abuse. Some of my coaching clients have gone through severe abuse. If you've gone through severe abuse, then you have toxic shame that you have to clean up and deal with when you're an adult. If you've gone through abuse that's not severe, but that hindered your love for yourself or your ability to love the world or your ability to trust or your ability to feel competent, or if you have any kind of negative core belief, that I personally believe is embedded in toxic shame, and you can be free from it, which is the most important part of this video, I think. But also awareness. Anytime that you're aware of what's going on in your psyche, you can begin to externalize situations and see that shame may be driving you, that lies may be driving you instead of your truth, instead of the truth, instead of the fact that you're absolutely 100% fabulous and it wasn't your fault that someone told you you weren't fabulous and you believed them when you were a little kid and you were in a hypnotic state. So, because all children are they're sponges. And so a child must idolize the parent. A child must idolize the parent. So no matter what the parent is doing, the child must idolize. And in order to reconcile bad behavior, the child keeps the parent good, and takes the shame on for themselves. This talk would not be complete without explaining the process of shame. Shame is a natural human state that you feel when you've done something that is wrong, that's outside of your own morals and values. Shame is a healthy emotion, but whenever it becomes toxic is whenever it's not your shame. When you have a feeling of ick all over your body, you just feel ick. It's an ick. You guys who have it know what I'm talking about. It is an ick. And if you don't know what it is yet, you may think that shame is you and you do deserve it. But once you start growing and becoming conscious of really what's going on in your mind and heart and soul, and you begin to understand that you need to be validated, that you need to be loved, that you need self-love. Once you start doing that, then you can start seeing the difference and you can start feeling the difference. Once you get in touch and in tune with your feelings, you can go, oh, that's not mine. That's shame. And I know what it is. And is it my shame or is it shame that was passed down from me? Toxic shame can be passed down from generation to generation. Shame is different from guilt. Guilt is when you feel bad because you did something wrong. Toxic shame is the thing that will keep you in a negative relationship, will keep you in a toxic relationship, will have you allowing a narcissist to treat you like crap. It's because toxic shame. If you have toxic shame, then you believe that you're unworthy. Toxic shame is a very painful place. It can be described as a pushing down, a heaviness, an abyss. It can be a no man's land. It's a feeling of severe defectiveness. You feel like you are not enough, that you cannot do it. And that is not the truth. So how do you get rid of toxic shame? The first thing you have to do is understand that shame is there. The second thing you have to do is become aware of how it feels when it overcomes you and you're in a shame spiral. When you start to do that, you can become able to catch yourself in the midst of a shame spiral and reparent yourself by telling yourself the truth of who you are and seeing the shame as something outside of you rather than something to be incorporated in your own being. So what do we got? 6 minutes? Ooh, I got a lot out in 6 minutes. So a child will become full of shame, will feel a toxic sense of shame. And I've even said it as being inoculated with the shame of an abusive parent. If you had an abusive parent, some of you did not have an abusive parent, and then fine, you don't have toxic shame. This video is not for you. So I don't know what to say, but if you have toxic shame somewhere in your generational stuff, in your family, somewhere there's something that was passed on to you that you're not good enough, that you deserve to be treated poorly. And that is what, when you have toxic shame, that's how you allow people to treat you. And that's why you become a people pleaser, is to silence these voices of shame that are shaming you and saying that you're not good enough, who you are is not enough, what you think is not enough, how you feel is not enough, you're just not enough, you just need to curl into a ball and forget it. Give up. Victim mentality. Just cave in. Just go the ventral, what do they call it? Where your nervous system is the opposite way. Instead of going after and having a drive, you're actually collapsed where you don't even want to do anything. You don't want to go out and make your life better and progress in your life because you have this victim mentality, which is steeped in shame, steeped in this toxic shame. And it's toxic and it's within you and you have to get it out. So how do you get it out? Well, first of all, you recognize it and you begin to think what thoughts are generating this feeling of shame. What am I feeling right now? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling happy? Am I feeling disgust? Am I feeling shame? And once you recognize you're feeling shame, then you can say, okay, where is this stemming from? And then you can start to journal through your process and journal. Where's the shame coming from? Where's this lie coming from? And remember that it is not your fault. It never was your fault. You were a young child whenever you had this toxic shame put upon you. You were not able to take up for yourself. You just had to take it and say, oh, okay, I guess if that's who you say I am with your messaging. It doesn't even have to be a blatant, you are bad. But it's messages that you are bad, that you're not enough, that you can't make it on your own, that you have to, grovel, that you have to subjugate your own needs for the needs of others. That's, the lies that you receive in the messaging. So what you want to do is you want to know that it's there. And then you want to begin to visualize, get a sense of what this shame looks like. And you may want to have therapy. You may want to have someone with you to walk you through this process, because I don't want anyone to go too far and, go off a deep end. You want to make sure you have support and really get a handle on this shame and then begin to disidentify from it, to begin to realize that that's shame. So that is something else. So that doesn't belong to me. That belongs to put it in Pia Melody's terms in her book, in one of her books, she talks about how you give the shame back to the perpetrator. You say, this is not my shame. I give it back because it's not your shame. Toxic shame means that it's shame that was somebody else's shame. and they didn't want to feel their shame. And so they put it upon you. And now you're walking around feeling like it's something wrong with you or it is your fault, which is absolutely wrong, because you are a beautiful, whole, complete, lovely, beautiful creature. You're a human being. You deserve love. You deserve to be free from those negative emotions. You deserve to know who you are, that you are somebody who is worth love, worthy of love, capable of love, who is capable of making it on your own, who's capable of living a beautiful and free and full life. That's who you are. And so you begin to journal, 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 and then set yourself free from it. And then little by little, you become more wise, and you see the toxic shame that comes up in little places. And then you can remind yourself, oh, that's not me. That's that shame stuff. And then you can work through it. And you can say, okay. And then eventually you can become free from toxic shame. And you can live a life of complete healedness, free of toxic shame, where there's nothing in you that pricks you and causes you and triggers you and causes you to go to dissociate, basically. Because that's what, when anyone feels toxic shame, they dissociate. They do anything like run, get out of here. I'm feeling toxic shame. I don't want to relate. That's what the avoidant attachment style. If someone has avoidant attachment style, it's because they have shame that they can't process. They don't know what it is, and they just go boom, because they have a shame bind connected to attachment. Same with anxious attachment styles. They have a shame bind attached to attachment. And instead of going boing, they go and cling and have this abandonment wound and stuff like that. But any kind of wounding in childhood, ages 0 to 7, will create toxic shame. And so that is your job as an adult, now that you're growing and now that you're learning, to rid yourself of this toxic shame so that you can be free and have a life that's worth living, because it feels amazing. It feels so good to know that you don't have to carry that around anymore. It feels wonderful. So I got it out. Okay, I'm going to go. You guys, I'm Jenna Ryan. If you're interested in life coaching, sign up at my website, selfloveyou.net. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.